Hey guys, how's it going? So first off, I want to start by saying this is a rebuttal / response to the Jillian Michaels video about keto. I want to start off by saying that this is our thoughts, our opinions on the statements that were made in that video. So let me kick it off with one of the big things that kind of hit me was she started talking about removing carbs in the video, and that her statement was removing carbs, anything that elevates, but she didn't finish that sentence. I really wish that she did, because if she was gonna say anything that elevates insulin, yes, that is true. Every bit of research that I've done, watching videos, going into old human physiology books, has all shown that yes, if your insulin is elevated, and the basic statement is if your insulin is elevated, in the presence of insulin, you cannot lose fat. It blocks that. That's what it's there to do. So if she was gonna say that, removing carbs and anything that elevates insulin, is a good thing, I don't think that's right. She's got to be able to look at it and know that if you remove carbs from your diet and thus lowers your insulin, that allows you to lose weight. So for those of us that want to lose weight, this is an incredible benefit. I tried all kinds of exercise. I tried, was trying all the medicines. Like I say, I was on metformin for diabetes, and in the video she mentions, it can reverse type 2 diabetes. She gets at that, and she also talks about PCOS. Again, from all the research that I've done, it points to, yes, it's an insulin problem. And if it's an insulin problem, I just don't understand why she's so against you being in a lifestyle that helps you control that, I guess. She also goes into talking about intermittent fasting, or she doesn't really call it intermittent fasting. She just states that there is no timing for food, no timing for meals. So again, being on the diet, for me, when I'm in ketosis, I find it really easy to intermittent fast. I'm not hungry all the time, so I can go extra long times. I may sometimes go to 2, 3, 4 o'clock, then say, okay, I'm actually a little hungry. I'll go and have a meal. I'll have a meal, and I might not be hungry for the rest of the day, so I don't eat. Why would you eat if you're not hungry? Again, it's just one of those things where I don't understand why she would be so negative against the diet. I could understand if she came out and said, well, here's why I think that the diet is bad, but here's some other thoughts. Her only thing in this video was there's all these negatives to the keto diet and side effects, but she didn't actually name them, which was interesting to me as well. If you're gonna say, okay, there's all these negatives, all these disadvantages to the diet, I would like to know what she actually thought those were, because for me, the only thing that this diet has done that has been a negative is my insulin level. It has gone way down.
Which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing, It has allowed me to lose weight, to not have to try and exercise like crazy and do that, by lowering my insulin, it helped me with my type 2 diabetes. It helped me get rid of that. It helped me with, again, losing the weight may be why my knees stopped hurting. I'll give it that. Maybe but I also believe that, hey, if I hadn't have been on this diet, I would have still been trying other diets. Like I said, I've tried the Weight Watchers diet. I had tried the Atkins diet back in the day, and I was just never able to really lose that weight. I was never able to maintain it as a lifestyle. And I guess that's one of my other things.
That's one thing that Jillian did say in her video. She did say that it's a fad diet. And I think that's one thing that we strongly disagree with. I don't believe that this is a fad diet. I strongly believe that this is a lifestyle, and there's plenty of research coming out now. There's plenty of people that have been on keto for years and years, and you can maintain this as a lifestyle. This isn't a cleanse. This isn't a drink a tea and lose a bunch of weight and then you go back to your normal life. I want to say too, it is very different from Atkins. That's one thing that she points out as one of her points, that it is a fad diet, is that back in the 80s, everybody did what? The Atkins diet, or I think she references her mother did the Atkins diet. That is true. The Atkins diet was popular back then, but the difference between keto and Atkins, there is a slight difference. Atkins is mainly protein, and basically people I knew who did the Atkins diet a long time ago said you can eat as much protein as you want. With keto, we don't eat as much protein as we want necessarily. There's not a need to want more because we are full, but the keto is actually a moderate protein diet. So there is a little bit of difference, and keto is all about finding those macros that fit, where Atkins used to be just eat as much as you want as long as you're eating these type of items. Keto, on the other hand, is moderate protein and watching your macros and adjusting everything. There is a balance to the diet, but it is a lifestyle change. You can live like this forever. This is how we should eat. I'm a believer in that now, and I think it's kind of like we've discussed, it's taking it back to those caveman days. If you look back, cavemen, they didn't eat like we have become adjusted to eating as a society. Cavemen ate pretty much keto.
Fruits with all this crazy sugar in them that have been modified, and changed over time, to adjust. They didn't have that. So yeah, it makes a considerable difference when you look at our diet, and all our processed foods and processed sugars and processed grains. It does make a difference. It does, and it helps make us bigger people. I also look at the diets, the changes that governments overseas are doing, other countries, they're changing their diets and they're going back, they're looking at different things and saying, okay, well, in our past, we didn't have all these issues, so why do we have these now? What did we change? No one still really talks about that. What changed? The diet changed, and then all of a sudden there's this big obesity epidemic and all these heart problems and everything else. Like I still say, you go back and you look at your parents' and their parents. What did you hear a lot about? Cancer, this, I got heart problems, high blood pressure, that, what I'm saying? You didn't really hear of that stuff because it wasn't there. And one of those big things to change was the whole low-fat thing came into place. And when they took out the fat, they increased the carbs to offset it to make it taste better. So
put a bunch of junk in it too now, which is one thing that I think has changed in society and why there is, evolving in studies, and you got to look at how we are eating. If you look at the labels on anything you eat, you would be amazed what you're putting in your mouth. That was one of the eye-opening things for us doing keto, I think, was just looking at labels in general. What are you intaking? And get yourself healthy. So while Jillian Michaels might have her idea, and I love Jillian Michaels, I do, think she's great. I just have to disagree with her on this point. I don't think that keto is a bad thing. I don't believe that keto is a negative thing. I think everybody has different things that work for them. And I can say the proof is in the pudding. I will put it that way. When you try something and it works, and we have found that we're off all medications and we're healthier and we're more active and we feel better and we're sleeping better and our quality of life is better, to me that's a success and that's a win.
Exactly.
I don't take that any negative, and I don't think it's a fad diet, and I won't quit, and it won't be a, okay, great, I did this and go back and on to the next thing. So I think this works for us, and that's just our opinion. As we said, everybody has a different opinion. Things work differently for different people, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with getting healthy, eating clean, watching what you're eating, and living a healthy lifestyle, which is what keto has done for us.
Exactly. It has just been so much of a benefit for us, that we had to come out and say a little something, because like I say, at my biggest, I was trying everything because I want to get out, I want to play with my kids. I wanted to do more, but no matter how hard I worked, got on the exercise bike, 4 or 5 miles, increase the resistance and all the rest of this, I just couldn't lose the weight. I would see 5 pounds lost, maybe, and I mean, Jillian Michaels, biggest loser, everything. That's great, But yeah, I have a full-time life. I don't have the time to go away for months and just work and work and work and sweat and sweat and sweat and whatever else, with everything that's going on with the show now. They're talking all the different things. What were they on? What were they doing? Da 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 da. With keto, it is your food. You eat a certain way and you get a certain benefit. Like, I still go back to, you should not have to monitor everything that you eat. And I say that with a caveat. Yes, you do have to read labels because we don't know what we eat today unless you read those labels to see what's in it. But you shouldn't have to monitor and say, oh my gosh, if I eat this today, I'm going to be 5 pounds heavier. I can have a whole steak if I want to, and I don't have to think about, oh my gosh, this is going to be heavy. It's going to be this. You don't have to think about it. You know what stuff you can eat. You know what stuff you can't eat. You eat around it. But I can't say that I have a negative part of my life that this diet has affected. It's nothing from this diet has been negative in my life. Everything's been positive. I mean, like I said, the only thing that has been negative is my insulin levels, and my weight loss. I get on the scale and more weight loss. Not having to go to the gym, not having to have a membership. Now, if you want to do it after you get another diet, hey, feel free. That's if you exercise and everything, you'll have even more benefits. You'll feel even better with that. But it's not a requirement, which was one of my things with the diet. One of the other points that I wanted to touch on was that she had mentioned that keto is inflammatory, and I just have to say the total opposite has been true for me. It has been the most anti-inflammatory diet.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, I have not felt bloated or any of that. No inflammation, swelling around the ankles, gone. I mean, like I said, there's just so many things, and that was just one of the other things that I want to touch on, that she had talked about. But yeah, for us, we've seen all positive from it. Living the diet for over a year straight, all positive. So I think that anyone could adopt the diet and be successful with it.
If we can do it, you can definitely do it. We've struggled and struggled. If you are interested, I say just do your own research, look into it yourselves. Don't be scared by Jillian Michaels' video. I know it's trending right now and it's the big talk because keto is becoming more popular, but I think keto is just becoming more popular because of the good research that's coming out on keto, because doctors are backing this now.
Exactly.
It's working, and so people are really starting to take notice. And like I say, when you see people living healthier and people like us who have changed their life by keto, it's only a positive thing. So I just encourage our viewers not to be afraid and not to be scared from what they've seen in Jillian Michaels' video. She did make it a little scary. I mean, it does. You could watch that and be intimidated by it, but I have to disagree with the points that she made. That's the bottom line. I think we just strongly disagree with her outlook on it, and we will agree to disagree on this one. Like I say, still a huge fan, but I'm definitely a fan of keto also, and like I say, I think we have the proof here to say that this works. So if you're on this journey with us, or you've done the journey, or you're thinking about getting back into the journey, I just encourage you to continue. Change your life. Anything that makes you feel better and makes your body healthier can't be a bad thing. When you get your blood work done at the doctor and they're impressed with your results, that can't be a bad outcome.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you later.